going to be about side-by-sides, but you're not going to see us doing stupid stuff. A lot of questions on the old Facebook about what's everybody carrying for tools, or what do you carry when you ride? Well, this video hopefully explains it in a manner that makes sense on our end of it. This is 100% opinionated. It's my opinion on what works for us. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you, but maybe you can walk away with a consensus of, hey, that was a good idea, or hey, that's stupid, I don't want to carry that. That's fine too. So this video, we're going to go over what we carry in this pack out. Everything that you see in the video does and will fit in there just fine. So we'll get into it. First thing, a belt. If you have a KRX, get the bolts that release the secondary so you can change the belt. Doesn't matter manufacturer, brand. This is an OEM belt. You can get a Trinity, you can get a G-Boost, you can get whatever your heart desires. Just anything is better than nothing in that sense. So that's the first thing that we do carry. Yeah, it's kind of common sense. Second thing is a first aid kit. Get them just about anywhere you want to. So this has got gauze, tourniquet, scissors, tick removal, poison ivy kit, ice pack, tape, band-aids, whatever you can do for a scratch, or if somebody gets severely hurt, hopefully it can help. It's just a nice precaution to carry with you and a safety thing. So whether it's a pack of band-aids or a full trauma kit, something's better than nothing. Next on the list is something very stupid. I call it the Greg. I watched a video of a guy that overlands quite a bit out west. I don't know who it was exactly. I'd love to give him credit, but saran wrap. Saran wrap is great to carry with you for a lot of different reasons, but the main reason is an axle. We have an axle here. If you blow a boot, you get grease everywhere. If you can catch it in time, or you gotta change an axle and it's stuck and you decide to replace the half shaft into the cup, whatever, and you rip the boot, wrap saran wrap around it and it adheres back to itself, and there's not gonna be grease slinging everywhere. So it's a good product just to carry with you. And no, brand doesn't matter. Saran wrap is saran wrap. You can take it off of an old box that you got. I don't really care. I'm gonna set that on the ground. It might be a little safer that way. All right. The next thing we carry with us are input shafts. This is very controversial in the KRX world. Everybody likes to upgrade them, don't upgrade them. Do whatever you want on your own opinion. This is what it looks like when it breaks. Clean cut right there where it's neck down where my finger is. There's a lot of methods behind this, but in our opinion, it's the best safe fail that Kawasaki designed, I guess. Keeps a lot of the shock load out of the transmission, so you can upgrade your output shaft on the engine or on the back of the transmission and leave this as a weak link. You're not snapping axle, so you can really upgrade the axle to a high quality product, whether it's a Demon or Turner, Cobra, whatever you want to do. You want to go spend $800 on an axle or keep them OEM. It's just a good weak link to run, especially if you're doing 35s or 37s. And this is 100% my opinion. So if you do choose to run this way, winch bumper, get the winch out of the way. You have an abundance of room in there to work with. If the winch is in the factory location, you're probably going to hate your life, and it's going to be 2 hours on the side of the trail. With the winch relocated, you can change them in about 25, 35 minutes in that ballpark. So, but if this is the route you want to go to have a quick, easy part to change out, do not forget gear oil. Now, it doesn't matter what you run for gear oil. You can run Cowie, whatever. The main reason that I run this stuff, the AMSOIL, is because of this. Now, this is just a funnel that comes on a DEF jug for a truck. It's amazing. It's compact. It screws in. No spill. It's just there. You can, honestly, it's one of the dumbest things, but it's probably one of the sweetest things I've ever come across, is that this fits a lot of different containers. I think it'll fit Rotella as well. Yeah, just kind of stupid that it fits and it works. No mess, you know. and they're disposable. If you have a diesel, you can just take and get a new one every time and throw it in your pack out. So this is the way that we run. And another big thing with these is get an 8mm ratchet wrench, because these back bolts suck to sit there and twist like this. So yeah, this is what we choose as a fail-safe. It's worked for us for over 2,000 miles. It generally is an item that we do replace quite a bit, but by quite a bit I mean probably 3 a year between 2 machines, and it depends on how hard you come down under power. Another thing with that is the Can-Ams are very similar. A lot of guys do not upgrade that front drive shaft. They leave it in there to twist and break as a weak link. So very similar concept along 2 different manufacturers. There's got to be a method to the madness with that. Next, hardware. Nuts and bolts. These containers suck, but so this is what we use for hardware. We got some electrical components in there, mini fuses, inline fuse just carry with a toggle switch, hose clamps, these cheap little connectors that you can get anywhere, fit perfect on the back of the rocker switches. Got a little rocker switch in there, cotter keys, washers. Biggest thing to remember is all these machines are metric. So with that being said, don't try to stand a 3/4 inch standard bolt into something and strip it. Some aftermarket parts out there are standard thread, but the biggest thing is they are metric. Just biggest thing I can say. As far as hardware components go on our machines, the typical thing that we see break is a ball joint, but if you do preventative maintenance, you don't have to worry about that so much. So Emily's machine, she runs OEM ball joints for the time being. I run Keller ball joints. In the glove box of each machine is a ball joint for that machine. So that being said, Emily has an OEM ball joint in hers, and I have a Keller rebuild kit in mine. So that's that for hardware. Now the next thing that you hear so much about on Facebook is, glue tread. It doesn't work, it's garbage. Well, saved my ass a few times, so it works. But the most shocking part about this kit is there's a sidewall slug in here. So this is a kit that I put together in my own time after doing all this stuff with off-road, of what works and what don't work. So moral of that is sidewall slug breaks apart. It's exactly what it says. It's a sidewall slug. It's meant to repair the sidewall. These work fantastic. We've used them a few times. Our friend Anthony at Rebels Off-Road, he ran them for like, I don't know, 1,500 miles on one. So this is an awesome little product, and for the price of them, just, you know, get one. Don't buy it on Amazon because it's a knockoff. Just go right to Sidewall Slug LLC. Our friends over at Root Off-Road, they know how to get in contact with them if you can't find them. But that is a great product, small family business. Next thing is the glue treads. Glue Tread sent us this. We used it, and it works. But at the end of the day, everything in this kit is a temporary repair. It's not made to go out and run on the highway 200-300 miles or whatever. I mean, sidewall slug, you can get 1,000 or more miles out of it, but it's a temporary repair. Tires should be taken off and vulcanized so you don't run into an issue when you're on your next trip. But the Glue Tread kit comes with a lot of stuff into it. It comes with slugs, comes with glue, comes with patches, sandpaper, valve stem repairs. Like, there's a lot in here for what you're getting. I had a brand new rock scraper. We went to Rock Run down in PA. I ripped it. And when I rip a tire, for some reason, I rip it right on the bead, not directly in the sidewall. So I screw myself because slugs will not work when it's down by the bead. So I have to use a combination of either slugs, Glue Tread, and plugs. But like I said, this is just a temporary repair kit that I put together in the bag for Glue Tread. I carry slug. I carry whatever I think is going to work to get home. That's the big thing about this kit. and that's what this is all about. You can pick and choose, but all the products I've put in here, from glue tread, sidewall slug, and tire plugs, work. It's just a kit to get you home, to get you out of the woods, whatever, go change a tire. And another thing is, I don't like running a full-size spare tire on our machines. I don't like the extra weight. I don't like how it feels like it's top heavy on a KRX. It's already a heavy machine. So yeah, if you could put it directly off the back of the machine, somebody made one, yeah, it might help, but then you have a weight balance issue, I think. So yeah, I don't like a full-size spare. We have friends that ride with full-size spare. Our buddy Ron, he rolled over an Ivy branch with a full-size on it. It did cushion the blow for sure, but I just don't think it's necessary to carry a full-size spare. But if somebody we're riding with has a full-size spare and I need a tire, I'll surely take it. Tire pump. This is a Husky from Home Depot. I bought it during Christmas time for like 20 bucks. So it works for me. You can use a Harbor Freight, you can use a Milwaukee, you can use whatever you want, but this is definitely a good thing to have. Just a 12-volt cigarette lighter. Most 90% of machines nowadays still come with these. So, and the big thing about it is it's cheap. So if this went bad, cut it, touch it to your battery or whatever you gotta do, and then it will still probably work. So, like I said, the big thing about this video that we're doing is this is 100% just our opinion on what works and might not work, but it might not work for you in your application. The next part we're going to go to in this is going to be tools. Now, with the tool part, you know your machine better than anybody else, unless you take it to the dealer for everything. Then I really can't help you. It's OEM sizes. So when you go and you start changing axles, you start changing radius rods, tie rods, ball joints, all these parts, you need to keep a list of what size socket, what size nut is on that part that you've changed. So whether it's an 1 1/8, 36 mil, 32 mil, whatever it might be, write it down. Next time you go to the store, pick up that socket, that wrench, for your specific need. Because Kawasaki, you can pretty much go ahead and fix the whole machine with an 8, 10, 12, 14, 17, and a 27 mil and a 5 mil Allen. Like, that's the basis for the machine. That's all you really need. And one more thing before we get into the tool section is this guy right here. This is a Tough Jug no spill gas can. And you're probably asking yourself, why do I care about a gas can in this review? Or not review, or whatever this video is. This gas can, we've had it for about 2 months and ran it. Now the issue we run into ourselves, and like I said, this video is 100% about what we carry, is fuel quantity. KRXs are a big machine. If they're tuned and you got an exhaust on them, or if you're heavy into it, you're gonna burn fuel like a Mack truck without a turbo. So that being said, a roto pack with a gallon, gallon and a half isn't gonna work amongst two of these things. This is a no spill can, and in this situation, we're trying to conserve fuel. It's not about pouring fast. We're not in an XC race. So this works for us. And you're saying, oh my God, you carry a bomb on the back of the machine. Yeah, essentially we do, but we're not out doing double blacks when we're carrying this can. This is about going to sightsee. We're gonna go do 100+ miles a day or 200 miles. We're gonna hit roads. We're gonna be out hauling across fucking strip mines. We're gonna be out and about. We're not out to do technical stuff when we bring this can. This can is thick, this can is durable. This right here, the hose that's inside runs all the way down. And a KRX sucks to put gas in. And like I said, I'm bringing this up because of this. When you fill up a KRX, if you have a fuel door or anything that you can't see, it's not like an X3 where the fuel door is up here. They're down center line of the machine, the tires, and there's mud and nasty shit all over the place. So this does not allow it to spill out, which is what you're trying to do when you're trying to conserve fuel. It's more of a steady pour. So if we're both on 2 bars, we're gonna go ahead and toss 2.5 gallons in each machine, and it's split up. But with this, it's more controlled, so we know where we can put the fuel and not put the fuel. it's just a great product. Duck Jug was gracious enough to send us one to work and try out. So 10 out of 10. Just ratchet strap it to the back of the machine, make sure it is secure, and run it. Like I said, we're not taking this on technical trails where we could end up upside down. Accidents can happen, yes, but we try to bring this whenever we're in a group of people because you don't know what's going to happen, especially if you're running with a supercharged KRX. We have a friend named Nate, and he gets 60 miles out of a tank. So this has kind of been a lifesaver since we've been using it. We haven't had to fill up out of it too much. We have had to use it, but yeah, so I think this is a product that you should carry with you. They make smaller versions, so it's just yourself and one machine and you only care about yourself. Yeah, and I get it. You're gonna sit there and say, oh, we ride by gas stations. Well, when you don't really have a schedule and you're out riding until 10, 11 o'clock at night, there's not a lot of gas stations that are open that late. So you run into that problem where you run into that you're not close to the gas station on your trip. So depending on the type of ride you get into that day, it's definitely something to think about. And throw it on the back of the machine, strap it down, and you're good. You know, it's a peace of mind issue. So this is the generics of what we're running here. The next clip, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into what we carry for tools and what I find out works the best and doesn't work. So the last part here is what I carry in my little red Milwaukee bag. We'll start up here and work our way over. I carry Torx bits. You know, they can help in assisting remove basically a marred up head on an Allen wrench or an Allen head socket or whatever. Screw, bolt, whatever you want to call them. So we run these, bring these just in case. You never know when you're going to need one. It's light, it's there. Allen heads, hex heads, whatever you want to call them. 1/4 inch short sockets because you're not going to be reefing on them. That's bad. This is an 8 right up to 19 mil, 3/8 set of just short sockets. 17 to 21, skipping the 20, so 17, 18, 19, and 21 in deep well. And that's pretty much just a generic kit of just whatever you can get your hands on. As far, just make a complete kit. You know what you're going to need. And then, so I'm going to set this up basically just for a stock machine. If you have a bone stock, not modified axles, no radius rods, anything like that. The axle nuts are 27 millimeter. So you got 27s, you got 27 short or shallow, and then 227 deeps I got in there. That will handle the axles that you need. And this is a 1/2 inch drive from 10 right on up to 24, then it goes to 27. Just a wide array of Pittsburgh tools, Crescent, Huskies, whatever. It's got some extensions, wobbles, adapters. But yeah, so if you're gonna run this, the main essentials you need is 8, 10, 12, 14, 17, and 27 mil, and a 5 millimeter Allen head will pretty much get the machine tore down to nothing. That's the essentials you'll need. These are ratchet wrenches, 8 mil. Like I said, for the front diff input shaft, that's what it takes to change those. It's way faster process than trying to finger it out. So these here are dies. There's a size on there. It's an M20 by 1.5 left-hand thread. So this will do the rear axle. And you're probably thinking, why do you need a die? Well, that's simple. When the axle's stuck and you got to pound it out, this will get it out. This will get it apart, and then you can chase down the threads with this, so you can put the nut back on it. We have axle kits that we sell ourselves at that KRX couple. It comes with nuts and it comes with 2 dies. You get a left and a right hand thread for OEM axles, and it's in a kit. So you get left hand threads, you get 2 nuts with that and a left hand die, and you get a right hand thread with 4 right hand thread nuts and washers. So like I said, this will just save you the aggravation of trying to get the nut back on if it's messed up. So just a little helpful thing. We don't carry it with us because we're running different axles in our machines. So different nut size, different threads. That's why it's not relevant for this video. This is basically a stock setup. This right here is just something that we had saw on Facebook where somebody was selling for like 60 bucks. It's just a piece of tube and with a nut welded on each side of it. The whole concept of this is you break a tie rod, you break a radius rod, or even an A-arm, you know, whack this thing in there somehow, put it through like Chinese finger trap, run the bolts down, and you can get back. That's the whole key behind that. Bring a hammer with us. You never know what you're going to run into, so, or who you might run into in that situation. So, pliers, just channel locks, snap ring pliers, and some dikes. Screwdrivers, not a lot of those, really not, but they're KRXs. They are a bigger Phillips head. It's Japanese standard. I don't know the exact size, but pretty much a larger, without a big point on it, American standard screwdriver will fit it. Zip ties, electrical tape, a headlamp for those good late nights when you're stuck out in the woods. So, and then these are the wrenches that we carry. So, yep, just right on 8, right on up to, I want to say like, yeah, 19. This is a 24 millimeter that I lop the box end off just because I don't need it where the application is being used. And I say that for this reason. The lower A-arms from Super ATV, the jam nut is a 24 millimeter, and you're not going to get the box end around it. The L&M radius rods are a 24 millimeter jam nut. So yeah, this multiple applications for this 24, which is why I carry it. Well, somebody's going to say, oh, you don't need to lop the end off of it. I did because I wanted to keep the toolkit to roll up and be short and compact as much as I can for the abundance of stuff that we carry. Yeah, so that being said, hopefully this helps to go ahead and put together your own kit, gives you an idea of what to carry, what not to carry. Yeah, you don't have to be as in-depth as we are. We do a lot of stupid stuff and ride with some people that break a lot of stuff. So it's nice to have a wide variety of tools on hand. We have friends that carry impact guns and grinders with them. The grinders are really nice to carry, but this might be a little bit longer to do with hand tools, but it's going to do the same job at the end of the day. Yeah, and especially another thing with the grinders, a lot of people like cutting the axles out, and I'm not opposed to it myself. I've done it. If you're running an aftermarket axle and you have a warranty, really don't want to see the shaft cut in half when you've got to warranty it out. They might not care, they might care. So at the end of the day, it's just faster to break the lug nuts out and then bottom ball joint, pull the axle apart, use the stub in the end, and then get rid of it. Yes, this is pretty much the highlight of it, and hopefully it helps everybody. Thanks for watching.